conversation. Distinguished guests, who I know. To your question, one of the problems is there wasn't an increase in funding to these programs when some of these laws changed, so it became problematic. So we definitely need more funding there because it is right not to put all these folks in jail, but we also have to have a program that works. If they don't have the funding that's needed, then it's problematic. As you point out, public safety is big for me, that has always been, and so I always try to frame it because I had a lot of conversation about programs with police, the community programs and stuff like that, which I always support. But there's no community program that will help the three buckets that I think are the most important, which is accountability, transparency, and how we police. And those are the three buckets that are the real biggest problems. And when we have difficulty with the three buckets, we start talking about new programs and this and that, which is good, I support it, but it's never going to get to the heart of the problem, which is why we're back where we are, which is why people are now saying we need to arrest the children of the people we arrested 10 and 20 years ago, because we haven't yet solved the problem of what is causing the problem to begin with. And as the captain said, one of the problems that I learned is that people have to actually be safe and feel safe. In 2018, we were the safest we'd ever been. But if you spoke to people in 2018, when many of us were saying our programs were working, they would have said the sky is falling in. And it wasn't, because even though they weren't safe, they didn't feel safe. And in the black community in particular, they get sandwiched between very real street violence, which we have to acknowledge, and a very real over-policing to deal with that violence that sometimes causes other problems. And so these communities are stuck in between. So the question for me is always, what is safety, what is public safety, and what keeps people safe? I have always said, and we have some great officers here who provide good leadership, when we call police, that is a service that our taxpayers pay for. We should have that service of accountability and transparency. The problem has been, whenever we can't solve a problem, we send police in to solve everything that other agencies should be dealing with themselves. And so if we have a problem right now, we can't figure out homelessness, mental health, send the police. If there's some young people that are having some issues, send the police. That hasn't worked. And so people are looking at some of the things that were changed in New York with the veil of other things as what is causing the increase in crime. But when I look at other states, I have to be out of town this past week, every news story in that state was about somebody getting shot. Our laws have nothing to do with other states and their shooting. So there's something else that is going on, and I believe it's more linked to what happened during the pandemic than anything else. But we can't excuse people for shooting. There's no excuse for it. And there has to be accountability and consequences. The problem for me has been we spend more on the accountability and consequences than actually preventing it from happening, from stopping it in the first place, which is where a lot of the ideas and the programs that I work on and the council works on, we get pushed. Now there was the mayor, the own folks did a survey of 66,000 New Yorkers and asked them what would they need to feel safe. Believe it or not, the first top two things were housing and dealing with mental health. Policing was third. But in the prior administration, and unfortunately even some of this one, for the past 6 months even, we've heard more details about how we're going to police than housing and mental health. I'm happy that I heard the mayor actually put a program out today to deal with some of the homeless issues. But that's part of the problem. So we have a service here that many people want and need when they need that service, but the other things aren't there. So when they say to the communities, oh, these communities are asking for more police, and I will say, yes, they absolutely are. But they've also been asking for better housing conditions, better programs for their young people, and better schools and better mental health. Nobody hears those things. So the question for me, what is public safety? And are we funding and structuralizing those things so that communities feel safe as a whole? Or are we not doing that and then sending police in to solve everybody's problem? So that's the framework that I always try to put it in, because I will tell you the truth. Crime and violence is a hot button issue. Republicans exploit, they love to exploit black and brown pain and trauma. Democrats are terrible when talking about it. They just cannot talk about it. They're terrible about putting plans out and tying plans on how to make people safe. And because they can't do that, they start using Republican-like talking points while people are dying. And that's been a problem for, previous time.